Hi, boys and girls. Today we are going to start reading one of the Global Reading Challenge books, Leaving Lymon. So if you have your book, go ahead and grab it or you can read along on the screen with me. Leaving Lymon by Lisa Klein Ransom. In memory of my own Auntie Vera Ransom. Kind, independent, supportive, and a rock for us all. September 30th, 1929 to July 3rd, 2019. Daddy. 1. Parchment Farm, Sunflower County, Mississippi, 1938. Mia and Grandpops didn't tell me nothing, except we were going on the train. From our house, I could sometimes hear the train whistle on quiet nights. Grandpops used to tell me stories about trains that carry people to places far away, to a town I thought was called North. Turns out that wasn't the name of the town at all, just a place people bought a ticket to. Mom made a mess of food. She spent all Saturday cooking, and the house smelled like frying grease and pickles and chocolate cake. I told her twice I was hungry, just to get a taste of something, but she hit me so hard on my backside I stopped asking after that. Way past supper and bedtime, Grandpops came in my room whispering, "Lymon, come on now. Time we get going." He dressed me quiet in my church shirt and pants, wrapped my blanket round my shoulders, and carried me out to his truck. I remember the truck smelled like all the food Ma had been cooking, and the smell woke me up good. "We going on the train now?" I asked. "Sure are," said Grandpops. Ma just closed her eyes, laid her head back against the seat, and didn't say nothing. I thought she was tired from all the cooking. We drove quiet through the night till we pulled up to a small building. "Here we are, Jackson Depot," Grandpops said. Grandpops lifted me out first and kept my blanket round my shoulders. Then he helped down Ma. Last, he got the basket of food Ma made. While Grandpops stood in line for tickets, I looked round at all the other folks, most looking as tired as Ma, and nearly all with food in bags and packages. The ladies had on fancy dresses. I grabbed Grandpop's hand tight when I saw the lights from the train and heard its loud whistle when it pulled into the station, huffing and puffing smoke. Back home it sounded like a whisper, but here it sounded like a long scream. I covered my ears, and Grandpops laughed. I nearly peed myself. I was aching so bad to get on that train. "Stop that jumping," Ma snatched my arm. The train was so tall. I didn't know how we were going to get all the way up there, but then a man opened a door and let down stairs. Grandpops helped me up the steps, and I walked into the train car. It looked like it went on forever, and when we walked through, I ran my hand on the backs of the seats we passed. I didn't care. It was crowded and hot with people's smells of food smells. Felt good to be going somewhere new. Skinny as I was, I sat on the hard seat below Grandpops and Ma. Train man yelled, "All aboard the midnight special?" When we gon' get there?" I asked Grandpops. "You go on and sleep now. We got a ways. Be morning before we pull in." Heard Ma suck her teeth and look away. I told myself I'd stay awake the whole time so I wouldn't miss a thing. Liked hearing the train men in uniforms ask for tickets and listen to the folks talking and babies crying. But it was so warm and tight in my seat I couldn't keep my eyes open. I woke with my head in Grandpop's lap and heard the conductor shouting, "Parchment Farm." "This is it?" I asked, sitting up straight. Everybody got up to get off the train, and there was a beat-up bus waiting, and we all got on that. Wasn't near as fun as being on the train, but Grandpop said, "Not long now," and I mashed my face against the cool of the window. In the back of the bus, someone started singing a song I sometimes heard in church. Few others joined in. Out the window, I saw rows and rows and rows of cotton as we drove up along the road and under a gate. As soon as we stepped off the bus, I heard someone shout, "Pops!" And there was my daddy. His face was so fuzzy in my head. I almost forgot what he'd looked like. He was smiling big and walking fast toward us. His black and white striped pajamas looked too big for him, and I heard Ma breathe in fast. "Ma," he said, kissing her on the cheek. Grady is all, she said. But Grandpops pulled him in close and hard. "How you making it, son?" "I'm making it, Pops, I'm making it." "And who is this young man growing tall as a weed?" Daddy asked, looking down at me. "I'm Lymon," I told him. "I know who you are, boy," he laughed and swung me up high. Seemed like a big party. All the men there dressed in the striped pajamas like Daddy. There was music playing from a radio, and couples were dancing close and kissing too. "Stop staring," Ma told me and moved away. We laid down my blanket under the tree, and Ma put out all the food she made. Daddy and Grandpops talked and talked. Ma barely ate. "You ain't hungry, Ma?" I asked her. My belly was hurting because I ate too many deviled eggs. She didn't answer, just looked out past the trees. Daddy showed us where he and the other men slept, in one big house with beds all lined up next to each other. He held my hand when we walked. It was hard and dry and cracked, but it still felt good holding mine. After Ma cleaned up the food and cut the cake, Daddy took out a harmonica. He took his hands and made a cup around it and made music come out that sounded a lot like a train whistle back at the depot. As he was playing, more and more folks came over, standing round my daddy. His face got wetter and wetter the more he played. Folks were clapping and moving to the music. But then the white men with guns came over too. The folks quieted down some. When Daddy finished playing, one of the white men stepped forward. Your boy got talent, he said to Grandpops. Grandpops looked down. "Yes, sir," he said quiet. "He behave himself in here. Maybe he make you proud one day, right, boy?" he said to my daddy. "Yes, sir," my daddy said, and put his harmonica back in his pajama pocket. Folks started moving away. I went and sat up close to my daddy. "So how's my Lymon doing?" he asked, smiling down at me. "Good, Daddy." "How's your mama?" he asked. I shrugged. "You know, he ain't seen her since she left. Why you asking foolishness? She's there, and he's there. That's how she's doing." Ma started coughing like she do whenever she starts yelling. "All right now, Lenore, you getting yourself all worked up. Ain't a need for all that today. He's just asking questions is all." Ma got quiet again. "Heard she went up to Chicago with her sister not too long ago," Grandpop said into Daddy's ear. "Got another one on the way." Daddy whistled through his teeth and shook his head. "Vera and Shirley send their best," Grandpops told Daddy. "Clark got a job at the new foundry in Milwaukee. They told us to come up and join him. Y'all thinking about going?" Daddy asked. "Nah, I can't get this woman to leave Vicksburg for nothing in the world. Right, Lenore?" Grandpops laughed, looking at Ma. I saw a little smile at the corner of Ma's mouth. First one all day. "Ain't no need dragging my tail all the way to Milwaukee when I got all I need right here in Mississippi." "She's talking about me." Grandpops leaned over and kissed Ma a big kiss on her cheek. She laughed then. "Stop that fuss, Frank. You are a fool." One of the white men started clanging a bell and told everybody visiting time was over. Folks started picking up all their food and fixings and saying goodbye and kissing even more. I couldn't help but stare then, and Ma didn't stop me. Someone was crying loud. We stood up, and I hugged my daddy tight round the waist. "You coming home with us?" I asked. I saw the water in his eyes. "Not today, son, but I'll be home soon," is all he said. Grandpops took my hand. "Come on, Lymon." When Daddy bent down to kiss Ma, I heard him say, "Don't bring him back here no more. I don't never want to see him inside this place again." Ma pulled away from Daddy. You should have thought of that before. Hush, Lenore, Grandpop said, mad. Me and Ma walked onto the bus as Daddy and Grandpops hugged goodbye. When the bus pulled down the long, dusty road, my daddy was the last one in the line of men in pajamas walking back into their house.